Roof prices are changing fast in East Central Indiana in 2025. In this video, we'll break down exactly what you can expect to pay and how to avoid overpaying. Whether you're replacing a storm damaged roof or budgeting a remodel, knowing what drives roofing costs in 2025 is essential. When it comes to comparing metal and shingle pricing for your new roof, you can expect to pay between $8,000 to $12,000 for a new shingled roof and $12,000 to $18,000 for a new metal roof. What changes we've seen in the roofing prices in the last year or two? Of course, as you know, everything continues to go up, and one of them determined factors are the tariffs when it comes to, so if we want to kind of talk about what products are made in the US, what products are not. Actually, a lot of metal is actually made in the US, so we haven't seen as much increase in metal pricing. However, a lot of your accessories on your shingle roofing that you don't see once the product is done, but your underlayment, your felt, your nails, a lot of that is coming from China, unfortunately. What drives a big difference in your roof cost? So the first thing we're going to talk about is your roof complexity. What is the size of your house? How much pitch do you have with your roof, and what material will be needed in that? So the second thing we're going to talk about is the amount of work that needed done. Are we doing a complete tear off? Is somebody else doing a layover? Once we get everything torn off, what does the decking look like? Does it need to be replaced? Also, when we're looking at venting, and then if we find any hidden damage. And the third thing we're going to talk about is kind of more like, it depends on your local area, what kind of permits are needed, what is the labor rate in that area, and then also, is there going to be any code upgrades that we've got to build it back more than how it was built originally. Whenever we go to install and tear off, if a roof is very steep, we have to use what is called rope and harness to keep our guys safe, and they just have to move slower because it takes longer when you're working on something that is like this compared to like that. How much more are premium material, which would include your standing seam roofing and also your what we call designer shingles. The average of that stuff is going to be anywhere between 2 to 3 times the average cost of just your laminate dimensional shingle. So let's talk about the question, do we lay over or do we do a complete tear off? And what maybe will factor the cost into that. So to be clear, here at Hoel Roofing, we always want to do a tear off so we can inspect your decking, what is underneath your current roofing material, to make sure whatever we install next, even if it is shingles or metal, that we can fasten it properly for you. So there is an additional cost in labor to do the tear off, and then of course there are, a dump fee to take them to the landfill. The number one factor of shortening your roof's lifespan is actually improper ventilation. When it comes to what is the determined factor of proper ventilation, you got to be able to breathe. So you got to be able to let air in and exhaust the air. So that you're going to let the air in using your Soffit vent, your intake, and your exhaust is going to be either your box vents or your ridge vent. And that just helps keep your attic breathing. And the most important part is that'll just keep it from building up any moisture, and that can cause mold or rot from the inside out. Can unseen damage increase the final price after the job starts? Unfortunately, that answer is going to be yes. The biggest determining factor there is if we run into soft decking, because we do want to make sure that we are installing your shingles or metal into a quality product that will last, that will hold that material there for you. So this is a huge reason of why we like to get in your attic and do an attic inspection, because there are a lot of things that we can see from the underside of your roof before we ever even start your project. So you may be thinking, okay, I understand what a shingle is, but what are you talking about when it comes to flashing? So one big thing there is the chimney flashing, and we will always replace and put new chimney flashing up there. And then also something that you don't see from the ground when you look up, if you have a roof to wall area, there's what is called step flashing in there. So that is something else that needs changed out and new installed when you get a new roof installed. So that is going to increase the cost of that. So that also, you know, when people ask like how much does a new roof cost, part of that is going to determine how much flashing is needed. The number one cause for a leak on a new roof that maybe only be 2 or 3 years old is actually a lot of times the previous contractor did not replace all the flashings. So that's why it's very important, and that's why we always change out step flashing, chimney flashing, and even skylight flashings whenever we're putting on a new roof for you. My best tip for getting the most out of your roofing project for 2025 is I would actually say evaluate your needs and also what is the long-term goal of this house. If you're gonna move in 3 or 4 years, just put a quality shingle on it and go on with life, maybe more of an entry level. However, if it's a home that's in your family for 50 years, you know, maybe you go with a premium standing seam roof or a higher premium shingle, just because the longevity of that material is just going to continue to get higher. So do the project as soon as you possibly can, and then also evaluate how long you want that roof to last for you. So let's talk about a real life roofing project that we just completed. This roof here is in Rushville. Roughly the cost on this roof was just a hair over $16,000. And a few factors of that was we did go with a metal roof, so that was a premium. We did have some rotted wood once we tore off the old shingles underneath there. And then also, as you can see, part of the house is what is considered 2-story, and a lot of it is actually a 12-12 pitch, which is fairly steep and just slows down the workers while they're installing the roof. If you're watching this video and you're thinking about replacing your roof, the first step you should take today is just give us a call for a free inspection, and we'll just give you a report on the health of your roof. If you enjoyed this video, you can do us a favor. You can comment maybe what you learned the most on this particular video. Go ahead and like the video, subscribe to it, and then check out any other additional content that you may be interested that we've already produced for you guys.